Hello, it's Amanda Godfrey here. I am a White Witch and I'm the college principal here at Mystical Dragon. We are a spiritual college and also a New Age store in Seaford, Victoria, Australia. And this week I wanted to talk a little about what I'm going to term as salt magic. And it is simply working with salt when we do any kind of magic or energy work, essentially. There are three main types of salt that we use when it comes to witchcraft and doing our energy work. And those are our rock salt, our black salt, and also our Himalayan salt. They're the main three. We can, of course, just use ordinary table salt or the, I think it's iodized salt as well if we needed to. Especially if we didn't have anything else. But the three main ones that tend to be our go-tos as a witch or an energy worker is those three that I've mentioned: the rock salt, the black salt, and the Himalayan salt. So really quickly, I'm hoping we can help you to be able to see these. This is the rock salt. It is very similar to that table salt, but a little bit more pure or sea salt. It is in the thicker chunks that you can get. And you can buy it simply from your supermarkets or some of your specialty stores as well. And it is white. Your black salt is something you do need to purchase from your specialty store, or you can make for yourself. And we may do that in a future video. I may show you how to make your black salt for yourself. But it's definitely something connected to witchcraft and energy work. And then we also have the Himalayan salt. If you can see there, we have more of a refined version of it here, but you can get it as a thicker salt, like the rock salt in the chunkier version. This is a more refined one. It's usually got an orangey type of color to it, or like a soft pink. But this one's easier to add to your baths when it's a little bit more refined this way. So that is essentially the three salts that we have. So your Himalayan salt is the one that is added to the bath more often than any of the three. And so all of our salt we can use as a way of clearing negative energy. Of course, if we're adding salt to the bath like our Himalayan salt, this is really soothing to the skin, can really help to relieve things like arthritis pain, menstrual cramping, other pain that we might be experiencing anywhere in the body. It is really relaxing and really calming, and really helps to detox our body by adding our Himalayan salt into the bath. You can use it as an alternative for some of the other salts in some of the other ways, but the Himalayan salt is most commonly the one that we add to the bath more so over the others, especially these days. Our rock salt and our black salt are the two main other ones that we use, and are a little bit interchangeable in the way that they are used. They're very commonly used for protection. So all salt is really commonly used for protection and clearing negative energy. So we can add our salt across the threshold of our home or a building that we want to add protection to. So you can sprinkle a thickish line of salt on the outside, not the inside, but on the outside of a doorway or some other way that we get into the building. So the entrance of a building, we can put a thickish line of salt there with our intent that we are adding protection. We can add the salts to things like floor washers as well, and be able to use those within the home or a space to be able to help cleanse a space and clear a space. And we can actually have these types of salts added to things like protective charm bags to help, so that the charm bags themselves are actually absorbing the negative energy on our behalf and keeping us safe and protected. We can add other protective herbs to these as well in order to do that, and to add to our floor washers. We can actually have a bowl of salt, whether it's the rock salt or the black salt or Himalayan salt. We can have a bowl of salt sitting somewhere where we specifically put it so that it can absorb negative energy. So for instance, if you know that there is somebody coming to your home or your space that you are a little bit wary about their energy, perhaps feel they're a little bit negative, then you could have a bowl of salt near the entrance or in the room where they're going to, you're going to be interacting with them, to help absorb any of that negative energy. Now, the thing to be aware of with salt that I don't think gets talked about enough is that salt actually doesn't discern whether it absorbs negative energy or positive energy. It just absorbs energy. So we need to be really careful about just having a bowl of salt out continuously all of the time, because it can actually start to absorb other spell energy and other manifesting energy that you might be working with, rather than it actually going where you intend to direct it and you want it to go. So we really need to be very mindful when we're doing any work with salt. Obviously we can pull it out and create that bowl of salt, for instance, when we know somebody's coming, but you don't want to just leave it out and forget about it and then start trying to do certain magical work with this bowl of salt in the room, because it's going to start to absorb that positive energy or that healing energy that you're trying to work with. Equally, I'm not one that has all of my elements continuously set up on my altar and represented, say, earth being represented by salt, because it will just absorb all energy that's there. So good or bad, it will just absorb all energy. So it's really something to be mindful of when we are working with salt. You know, do it with purpose, do it with intent, do it in those right times when you feel it's appropriate to, you know, lay your salt on the boundary, to add it to floor washes, things like that. But don't just have it continuously sitting out in the open to just absorb everything for you. So I hope that you feel a little more confident to be able to use some of these salts for yourself in the future. Like I say, they are really quite interchangeable, but they all will work really powerfully for you, and certainly very protective and very cleansing if used in the right manner.